Keanu Reeves had always sensed time was a puzzle, not a straight path. At 60, his dark hair flecked with silver, he still moved with the fluid grace of his youth, weaving his motorcycle through Los Angeles' neon-lit streets or dodging paparazzi with effortless poise. But for months, something had been wrong. Every night at 11:13 p.m., the world froze. His phone screen locked, the city's hum vanished, and for exactly 60 seconds, nothing moved. Then, like a skipped heartbeat, reality snapped back, leaving Keanu with a racing pulse and a creeping dread. He chalked it up to exhaustion at first. Too many scripts piling up, too many late-night rides to clear his mind. But on the 13th night, he saw them, shadowy figures gliding through the 𝗏's world. Their metallic masks gleamed under streetlights, hands glowing with an unnatural light. They moved with surgical precision, adjusting objects, rewriting signs, even touching frozen people. One shifted a parked car's position, altering a future collision. Another changed a newsstand headline, tweaking a political narrative. A third touched a sleeping homeless man's forehead, and Keanu swore the man's face softened, as if a painful memory had been erased. Keanu blinked, and they were gone. Time resumed. A glass he'd knocked over in shock shattered on the floor. "Whoa!" he muttered, his voice low and gravelly. This wasn't a hallucination. This was something else. Keanu stopped sleeping. He set up cameras in his loft, stayed awake, watched the clock. At 11:13 p.m., the freeze returned. He forced himself to move, muscles burning against the invisible weight of a stilled universe. The figures were clearer now, a dozen, editing reality like directors cutting a film. One adjusted a streetlight's angle, redirecting traffic flow. Another rewrote a billboard slogan, shifting public sentiment. He saw them manipulate a couple arguing on the street, their faces softening as if their fight had never happened. They were rewriting the world, and no one else noticed. On the 20th night, Keanu fought back. As the freeze hit, he pushed through the temporal resistance, breath ragged. He grabbed a figure, ripping off its mask. The face beneath was young, unremarkable, but the eyes burned with zeal. "You're not supposed to see us," it hissed before vanishing as time restarted. Keanu stood in his loft, heart pounding, holding the mask. It was lightweight, etched with circuits that glowed faintly before fading, like a dying star. He dove into research, scouring ancient texts, occult forums, and conspiracy threads. Whispers of the Chrono Architects emerged, a secret society wielding the 13th minute to shape history. They'd redirected wars, erased inventions, rewritten lives. No one else could move during the pause, so no one noticed. Why could Keanu? Why could he see them? He sought answers in unlikely places. An old bookstore in Chinatown led him to a cryptic journal by a 19th century monk who described a fracture in time every night at 11:18. A hacker friend, Zara, who'd once worked for DARPA, found encrypted files on the dark web hinting at a temporal anomaly tied to human grief. Keanu's losses, loved ones, dreams, moments stolen by fate, resonated with the anomaly's origin. He wasn't just seeing the architects, he was connected to their power. The answer came on the 30th night. The freeze hit, and the figures surrounded him in his loft. Their leader unmasked, and Keanu's breath caught. The man was him, older, silver-haired, with scars that hadn't yet formed. His eyes carried decades of weight. "Future Keanu, you're me," Keanu said, voice barely a whisper. "I'm what you become," future Keanu replied, tone cold but achingly familiar. "I've spent decades perfecting the 13th minute. We fixed the world, Keanu. We stopped tragedies, erased mistakes. But you're breaking the system. You're not supposed to resist." Keanu's mind reeled. "Fix the world? You're playing God." Future Keanu's eyes softened, almost sad. "I've seen what happens if we don't. You haven't. Not yet." The figures closed in. Keanu moved on instinct, years of stunt training and martial arts surging through him. He dodged a glowing hand that tried to rewrite him, leaping over a couch, sliding under another's grasp. The frozen world was his battlefield, every second a struggle against time's weight. He knocked one figure down, its mask cracking, revealing a face that flickered between youth and age. But there were too many. Future Keanu raised a device, a sleek, palm-sized orb pulsing with light. A beam hit Keanu mid-dodge, freezing him like a statue, his body arched in a bullet time pose. "You'll understand one day," 𝗵𝗂𝗧𝗃𝗲𝗄 said, stepping closer. "When you've lost enough." Inside the temporal prison, Keanu's mind burned. He remembered every fight, every loss, every moment he'd pushed through. The 13th minute wasn't just a tool. It was time itself, and Keanu had always bent it, from dodging bullets on screen to outrunning grief in life. He focused, willing his body to move. A finger twitched, then a hand. The figure's gasp as Keanu broke free, tackling 𝗵𝗂𝗧𝗃𝗲𝗄. The ore clattered to the floor. Keanu grabbed it, feeling its power surge. "If you're me," he said, "you know I don't give up." 𝗵𝗂𝗧𝗃𝗲𝗄 smiled faintly. "I was hoping you'd say that." Keanu smashed the orb. The 13th minute shattered, time roaring back. The figures vanished, and 𝗵𝗂𝗧𝗃𝗲𝗄 flickered, dissolving. "You'll see me again," he said before fading. The world moved again. Keanu stood alone, the city alive. His watch read 11:14 p.m. The freeze was gone. For now. But Keanu wasn't done. The Chrono Architect was still out there, and if 𝗵𝗂𝗧𝗃𝗲𝗄 was real, they'd return. He turned his loft into a war room, working with Zara to study the mask. Its circuits blended quantum tech and temporal resonance, syncing with the 13th minute's anomaly. Zara's analysis revealed the architects weren't just editing reality. They were stabilizing a timeline that served their vision, erasing chaos at the cost of freedom. Keanu trained relentlessly, pushing his body and mind to move faster, think sharper, even during the freeze. He began noticing others like him, people who twitched during the freeze, their eyes flickering with awareness. Lena, a barista who'd survived a car crash that should have killed her, felt the pause but thought it was 𝗳𝗏𝗪𝗂, a street artist whose mural predicted events that later changed, sensed the world shifting. Keanu approached them cautiously, forming a small resistance. Lena's quick mind and Marco's intuition complemented Keanu's experience. They met in secret, mapping the architect's moves, piecing together their endgame, a global rewrite to enforce a single, controlled timeline. Keanu's research deepened. He found artifacts, an ancient sundial that glowed at 11:13, a pocket watch that ticked backward during the freeze. Each pointed to the 13th minute as a wound in time, born from human will. Zara's hacking uncovered architect bases hidden in plain sight, a downtown skyscraper, a derelict warehouse. Keanu infiltrated one, moving through the freeze to steal data. He learned the architects were preparing a final edit, a rewrite so vast it would lock the world in their vision forever. On the one-year anniversary of the first freeze, the 13th minute returned. Keanu was ready. He'd modified the mask into a disruptor, letting him move freely during the pause. Lena and Marco wielded makeshift disruptors Zara had built. When the architect appeared, Keanu struck first, disabling two with a pulse. Lena hacked an architect device, redirecting its power to free a trapped Marco. They fought through the frozen city, dodging temporal traps that tried to lock them in place. Future Keanu was there, older now, scars deeper. "You're stubborn," he said, almost proud, "but you're fighting yourself." Keanu circled him, disruptor humming. "Maybe, but I'd rather fight than let you rewrite who I am." The battle was brutal. Keanu moved like a ghost, leaping across frozen cars, sliding under glowing beams. Lena and Marco held their own, but the architects were relentless, their numbers growing. Keanu faced future Keanu in a derelict theater, its stage frozen mid-performance. Every move was a mirror. Keanu's kicks met with perfect counters, his strategies anticipated. It was like fighting his own soul. At the theater's balcony, with the city skyline frozen below, future Keanu revealed the truth. The 13th minute isn't random. It's us. Your will, your pain, your choices. You created it, Keanu. Your losses, your refusal to break. They tore a hole in time. I just learned to use it. Keanu faltered, the weight hitting him. His grief, his resilience, had birthed this anomaly. "Then I'll close it," he said. Future Keanu shook his head. "You can't. Not without erasing yourself." The final fight pushed Keanu to his limit. Lena and Marco held off the architects, giving Keanu a shot at future Keanu. He used a disruptor to destabilize the 13th minute, creating a feedback loop that threatened to collapse the pause. Architects screamed as their forms unraveled. Future Keanu lunged, but Keanu was faster, pinning him against the balcony's edge. "Do it," Future Keanu said, eyes locked on his younger self. "But know this, every choice you make, I've already made." Keanu hesitated, memories flooding him, loved ones lost, battles fought, the weight of every choice. Erasing the 13th minute might erase him, but letting it continue meant surrendering the world. He thought of Lena, Marco, the others fighting for their reality. He thought of the journal, the sundial, the watch, all pointing to him as the anomaly's heart. Keanu made his choice. He activated the disruptor's failsafe, a signal Zara had designed to disrupt future pauses. The 13th minute collapsed, but not completely. Time resumed, and future Keanu was gone. Keanu stood with Lena and Marco, the city waking around them. The fight wasn't over. The architect would regroup. Future Keanu was out there, watching from a fractured future. The 13th minute lingered in Keanu, a wound he'd have to face. He looked at his allies, their faces resolute. "We keep going," he said, voice steady. They nodded. Keanu walked into the dawn, disruptor tucked away, his resolve unbroken. He'd fight for the world as it was, messy, flawed, free. If he had to face himself to do it, so be it. Somewhere, in a future he hadn't yet lived, future Keanu waited, knowing the war was just beginning.